know who I am. I know who I am. I know who I am. I am yours. I am yours. I know who I am. I know who I am. I know who I am. I am yours. I am yours. You are mine. Jesus, you are mine. You are mine. Jesus, you are mine. I was running and you found me. I was blinded. Gave me sight. You put a song of praise in me. I was broken and you healed me. I was dying. Gave me life. Lord, you are my identity. And I know who I am. I know who I am. I know who I am. I am yours. I am yours. I know who I am. I know who I am. I know who I am. I am yours. I am yours. And you are mine. Jesus, you are mine. You are mine. Jesus, you are mine. I was running and you found me. I was blinded. Gave me sight. You put a song of praise in me. I was broken and you healed me. I was dying. Gave me life. Lord, you are my identity. Oh, I know who I am. I know who I am. I know who I am. I am yours. I am yours. I know who I am. I know who I am. I know who I am. I am yours. I am yours. You are mine. Jesus, you are mine. You are mine. Jesus, you are mine. I am forgiven. I am your friend. I am accepted. I know who I am. I am secure. I'm confident that I am loved. I know who I am. I am alive. I am set free. I belong to you, and you belong to me. I know who I am. I know who I am. I know who I am. I am yours. I am yours. no doubt, 'cause I have seen your faithfulness, my fortress, over and over. I have a hope found in your name. I have a strength found in your grace, your faithfulness, my fortress, over and over. Make way through the waters, walk me through the fire, do what you are famous for, what you are famous for. Shut the mouths of liars, bring dry bones to life, do what you are famous for, what you are famous for. I believe in you, God, I believe in you. Release your love inside of me. Unleash your power for all to see. Spirit, come and fall on us over and over. Oh Lord, make way through the water, walk me through the fire, do what you are famous for, what you are famous for. Shut the mouths of liars, bring dry bones to life, do what you are famous for, what you are famous for. God of exceedingly, God of abundantly, more than we ask or think, Lord, you will never fail. Your name is powerful, your word's unstoppable. All things are possible in you. God of exceedingly, God of abundantly, more than we ask or think, Lord, you will never fail. Your name is powerful, your word's unstoppable. All things are possible in you. Make way through the water, walk me through the fire, do what you are famous for, what you are famous for. Shut the mouths of liars, bring dry bones to life, do what you are famous for, what you are famous for. I believe in you, God, I believe in you. There is no fear, 'cause I believe. There is no doubt, 'cause I have seen your faithfulness, my fortress, over and over.
Good morning, New Life. My name is Drake, and here are today's announcements. On September 11th, we'll be returning to the two-service format, having services at 9:15 at 11:15, so mark your calendars and please join us. And giving. There are many ways to give here at New Life. You can use the giving boxes that are surrounding the sanctuary and the cafe. You can use the debit and credit machines near Connie's Cafe, or you can give online using our website or Interact, which is give@NewLifeBrampton..ca. And with that being said, everybody, I hope you have a great week.
My hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. I dare not trust the sweetest frame, but only trust in Jesus' name. Crying He's the Lord, cornerstone, weak made strong, in the Savior's love through the storm. He is Lord, Lord of darkness seems to hide His face. I rest on His unchanging grace. In every high and stormy gale, my anchor holds within veils. My anchor holds. My anchor holds within the veil. Christ alone, cornerstone, weak made strong, in the Savior's love through the storm. He is the Lord, Lord of When He shall come with trumpet sound, oh, may I then in Him be found, dressed in His righteousness alone. Faultless I stand before the throne. Faultless I stand before the throne. Christ alone, cornerstone, weak made strong, in the Savior's love through the storm. He is the Lord, Lord of all. Christ alone, Christ alone, cornerstone, weak made strong, in the Savior's love through the storm. He is the Lord, Lord of all. Through the storm, through the storm, He is the Lord, Lord of all. Sing through the storm, through the storm, He is the Lord, Lord of all. When He shall come with trumpet sound, oh, may I then in Him be found, dressed in His righteousness alone. Faultless I stand before the throne. Faultless I stand before the throne. Christ alone, cornerstone, weak made strong, in the Savior's love through the storm. He is
I'd go home after a night of drinking. I'd wake up in the next morning wanting more. I craved more. And I realized this is not good, because I needed the alcohol, the beer, to wake me up, to be able to get up. That's what I was getting up for. It wasn't good enough just getting up to go to work or be a husband or a father. I was getting up for that next drink. I can remember that first drink of beer. Just a few days before that first drink, my nephew Cameron had passed away while he was undergoing heart surgery. And Cameron was only 12 years old during his surgery. So that's when I started to drink, was after Cameron's death. And after that, it just escalated to more and more. The lowest point in my life was when my mom called me. She'd called me lots, but this night was different. We had an argument, and little did I know that that night she would pass away, and that would be the last thing I would remember, was talking to my mom, is hanging up on her. Remembering the last conversation I had with her was an argument about money. So when I'd go out drinking, I started gambling. I'd put money in, and when I lost, I was happy, because that was the argument I was with my mom, was about money. I gambled to lose. The more I lost, the better I felt. Just like the more I drank, the better I felt. My addiction really got the best of me when I decided to try and end my life. I was at home alone, my wife and kids were gone. I went out into the garage and found a rope. I even Googled how to make a noose. And tried to hang myself. After my suicide attempt, I woke up in the hospital, and I was angry that it didn't work, that I was alive. And it was at this time I finally, for the first time, cried out to God. I said, God, if you still have a plan for me, if there's still purpose, I need you to show me a sign. Not tomorrow, not next week. I need a sign right now. And I'm angry at God. I'm angry at everything. Within minutes, the nurse comes down, sits at my side, and says, Tarrant, I see you're interested in the Teen Challenge program. Tarrant, I want you to know that's a good place. I've heard good things about them. They can help you. And as she's talking to me, a peace came over me. And I felt okay. I felt something. It was very tangible, and I felt like I had hope again. And as she walked away, I knew this was the sign that I sought after. The moment I walked into Teen Challenge, I knew that that's where God wanted me to be. I knew that was the place that would rehabilitate me. I knew that was a place where I can put the old things behind, and I knew that was a place where I had new freedom and new life, was at Teen Challenge. During my year-long rehab at Teen Challenge, there definitely defining moments. One was on the second day during chapel worship service, I rededicated my life back to Jesus Christ. Not only was I affected through my year-long process at Teen Challenge, but also the lives of my wife and my children. How God had restored my marriage, and I was now being able to be the father that I was called to be, and the husband that I was meant to be. Heavenly Father, we're just so grateful to be here together as a family. Even when I didn't think I'd receive grace from God, all the things I have done to my wife and to my kids and to myself, my own body. And knowing that Jesus gave me grace so that I can put all that away, leave that all behind me, to feel that grace, to start fresh, to start new, really a new life, a new creation. Because if it wasn't for grace, I'd still be hanging on to all that garbage that I hung on to in the past. But because of grace, I've been set free.
When I looked in the mirror, I hated what I saw. Just all these questions ran through my head. Who are you? Where do you belong? Why can't you be better? Just lost and confused. I remember just feeling so misunderstood and hopeless. There were times where I would try to just imagine myself in the future and I couldn't. It was just black. And then I would run to my addiction, you know, the drugs, the alcohol, the guys, and try to fill this huge hole inside, and the hole just got bigger. There was no answers. You know, I'd go back to the mirror and I just hate myself more. At first, you know, I told myself I'd never use my body to get drugs. But then you're high and you're so messed up and you don't even know what you're thinking anymore, and it just happens. It just kind of happens. And I would say that's when I sank deeper into depression, waking up the next morning and realizing what I'd just done and just giving my body away like that. And I knew it wasn't okay. Like deep down, I knew it wasn't okay. But when you're high, all your morals and your values go out the window. I just remember thinking so clearly, you know, this can't be my life. This can't be what I'm doing or where I'm going. And I hate where I am. And I knew right then that I needed to take the steps to get help. So I called my dad really early in the morning, and I just told him, I said, Dad, I need help. He had told me about Teen Challenge. I knew right then that I had to go, and that's what I was gonna do. What happened to my heart in Teen Challenge was basically heart surgery. I would say that it was like, as soon as I walked into the doors of Teen Challenge and the fog started to lift, God just invited me to put my heart on the table, the surgery table, and he just began to like do surgery on my heart. Teen Challenge was a huge part of answering all of those questions that I had deep down inside. You know, who are you, and whose you are. You know, getting to know God as a father, and getting to know God as my creator, and the way that he created me and why he created me the way he did. Life after Teen Challenge has been like I could have never imagined it to be. Just the doors that God has opened for me. I went to another school of ministry and got trained up in ministry, and I'm currently an intern at a young adults church downtown Toronto. You know, everything that I'm doing now is such a huge blessing for me because I get to use my past and my struggles and the things that I've been through. Everything the enemy used to try and knock me down, I get to use it for God's glory and to build people up. I get to stare people in the face and tell them, yeah, you're struggling, this is where you are, but I was there too, and this is where I am now. And I get to help people with their freedom, and there's just no better feeling than that.
Hard partying, drug using, bike riding, party animal. That's who I was. If you were to meet me 10 years ago, wow, you would have seen one mess of a person. Extreme crack addict and coke addict, lived the nightlife and slept all day. My home had become a crack house, so there was people coming in all the time just to get high, and police were visiting on a regular basis at least once a month for the 2 years I lived in that house. In October, I just accomplished something that I really wanted to do in life, and I had succeeded at that, so I selfishly, wanted to go and pick up some cocaine, and my friends whose home I was visiting, they begged me not to go, and in my mind, I was sober. I mean, I had drank and drove in much worse shape. Well, I got on my Harley, and 15 minutes later, I went into a little S-bend, and I collided with a car, and it immediately removed most of my foot. Within a blink of an eye, my life was altered forever. A friend of mine had just done a couple year stint in prison, and he came over and we were having a party at my house, and he told me the biggest lie in the world when he says, hey, when you do coke, you're just wasting it, man. It ain't real until you feel the steel. I tried it that day, and my life was never the same since. When I was an addict, I was a functioning user, which meant that I could control everything in my life, even though I still needed the drugs. When I became a junkie, that's when I lost control. The need for the drug overcame everything else. So here I am at this very low point in my life where I just wanted the world to stop and let me get off. And I wheeled my car into this empty parking lot and was reflecting on all the poor choices I've made in my life and how much damage I've caused to myself and to my family. And I knew right there I did not want to live anymore. And I prepped this syringe with a lethal dose of cocaine and rolled up my sleeve and tied off. And as I was squeezing this plunger full of cocaine into my arm, it's like, what is going on? It's like it's plugged, and I'm squeezing so hard that the plunger arm is bending. And I was frustrated and angry, and I punching the roof of my car, and I was screaming at the top of my lungs. And later on, when I checked that syringe, It wasn't plugged at all. And when I reflect back now and look at that moment, I knew that God was not done with me yet, that He had something more for me. And He spared me that day. My mother had to come and find me. My mother knew that I was really struggling, and she came to tell me about this Teen Challenge program and explained a bit about it. And I didn't want anything to do with it, but I knew I needed help. So she took me to her church where the Teen Challenge choir was performing, and that was my first real introduction to Teen Challenge. My mother had said, wait here, I gotta go do something. And 2 choir members came out named Marty and John, and they shared their stories with me that day. And it was awesome to hear that these guys, their old lives mirrored my life, what I was going through at that time. And I put myself on the waiting list that day to get into the Teen Challenge program. Transformation did not come overnight. I was wrestling with myself, with the staff. I was dealing with issues of pride and guilt and shame. And my year at Teen Challenge was a gradual thing, and realizing the freedom in forgiveness to forgive others and accept forgiveness. But the hardest for me was to forgive myself for the things that I've done. And that year at Teen Challenge, I discovered that I didn't need to be macho Steve, that I could just be me without any drugs or alcohol. Since completing the Teen Challenge program, I'm an ambassador for Teen Challenge. I'm currently at Bible college. I've met the love of my life while I was there, and I've been married a little over a year now, and we're expecting our first child soon. I've got that joy in here that I couldn't find through the poke of a needle or at the end of a crack pipe or at the bottom of a bottle. I have showed people the scars on my arms from the thousands of times I've stuck needles in them and the collapsed veins. And, I just thank God for a ministry like Teen Challenge that He used to give me my life back.
I never knew who I was. I always felt uncomfortable in my own skin, and like I never fit in with anyone. There was nobody like me. I went to a couple different high schools. The first high school I went to, I was a punk rock girl. I wore the punk rock clothes, and I tried to fit in with that crowd. The people that I wanted to fit in with were experimenting with drugs, and so I did drugs and drank for the first time in that high school. When I switched schools, I decided I wasn't going to be bullied, and I would be perfection. I would be untouchable. I changed into what was more like a Barbie. I wore more revealing clothing, push-up bra, shorter skirts. I met a boy, and I felt a lot of pressure to be sexual. I gave in, and everything changed. It wasn't anymore just partying on the weekends. It was a coping mechanism for depression and anxiety. And I felt like that perfection that I wanted was now unattainable because I'm now worthless. I'm now dirty. And the shame and the guilt of being sexual when I wasn't ready for it was all-consuming. After college, I got married. For a while, everything was great. We enjoyed each other and we would party on the weekends and it was fun. And then within a few months, Ryan figured out that I had a problem. Before, he knew I drank, and he knew I drank excessively, but he didn't know to the extent that I drank excessively, that I was an alcoholic. One time he found a bottle in my purse. Another time he found bottles in the bathroom. He wanted me to get help, and every time he would catch me with another bottle, I would lie or I would manipulate him into believing that I would get help and that I was really sorry this time and it won't happen again. But I would always go back to the drinking. I came home one day and he had trashed the apartment and my bottles were everywhere. I begged him not to leave, that I would get help, and he was just too little too late. I felt like if he leaves, I will kill myself because the only good thing was our marriage, and if that's gone, then I have nothing. Eventually, I decided I was going to kill myself that day, whatever day that was, I don't know. And I said, God, if you're real, I'm killing myself. And if you want me to live, then you better change something. And right then I got a text message from a woman named Marion, and she asked me if I wanted to go to a Christmas pageant at her church. I went. And then I just felt this peace. Like everything was gonna be okay, and I didn't have to pretend anymore. That I could just be me. This peace just flooded in to my heart. But I knew I had to get help, and I knew that I couldn't do it by myself because I had tried for years to stop drinking. And I was never able to. So I asked Marion if she knew how I could get help. And she said she knew of a rehabilitation center called Teen Challenge. She helped me to get into the program. Over the course of my time at Teen Challenge, I've figured out just exactly who I was. It took a while, but I was able to piece together the parts of me and figure out my actual identity. One of the biggest lessons I learned at Teen Challenge was how to change the way I think, that my emotions didn't have to dictate my actions, and you can just change your thought pattern in order to live free from the crippling thoughts that race through your mind when you're depressed. Since Teen Challenge, me and Ryan are still married, and we have 2 beautiful children. And I've found my purpose in life. I'm on the worship team at church, and I'm going back to school. I enjoy myself. I am just exactly where I'm supposed to be, and I am exactly who I'm supposed to be. Teen Challenge broke down my barriers. I finally was able to feel again, to have joy and peace the peace that surpasses all understanding. I am so grateful for finding God in Teen Challenge. God took a heart of stone and he changed it into a heart of flesh.
Thank you for joining us faithfully every week online. It doesn't go unnoticed. But let me just take a moment to challenge you to prayerfully consider coming back to the building to worship with us in a live context. On Sunday, September the 11th, we are launching 2 morning services, so you'll have opportunity to come to either service. There will be a little bit more space in each service to provide for your comfort zone. And as we continue to be post-pandemic, we want to just challenge you, if you haven't done so already, to come back and to worship with us. We are looking forward to a great fall season, and we anticipate God's hand continually moving upon our lives as a church family. And so we would love to have you a part of it as far as our live context. So God bless you and have a wonderful day.